The Integrated School Support System, also known as i3s, is a platform designed to foster a closer community between parents and their schools. Created together with input from thousands of teachers, this education program aims to give up-to-date information about student behavior and activities in school to parents using applications via mobile or a computer. Student identification card is used to take attendance, and the data is shared with parents via the online application and also shared across to the Ministry of Education's attendance system on a daily basis. During class breaks, students are also able to use their identification cards to make payments at the canteen and cafes, with parents reloading its e-wallet using their mobile application anywhere and anytime. i3s allows parents to set a daily credit limit for each child in order to safeguard their money against overspending and unauthorized use when lost. Posting of classroom activities and viewing exam results are part of the i3s user experience, where teachers can share info in real time to parents and have a private chat should the need arises. For the moment, this program is offered to schools at no cost, and parents do not have to pay any fees to use the i3s application. Are you interested yet? To enjoy i3s in your school, simply visit www.i3s.com.my and fill in the school registration form. We will surely contact you the next day for an appointment. i3s, the key development tool in building the next generation together.
Hello, good evening. My starter friends, welcome to join us tonight, Facebook Live. Tonight we have a very special program to launch introduce this ECF project from this i3s, stand for Intelligent School Support System. This project basically is a foster for a good community between the student, teachers, and parents. It's a great project which will not cost the government any budget, and is run by this private sector to provide to all the Malaysian school to them to run this program. So tonight we have this honor to invite this i3s founder and CEO, and also the CEO coming to our studio to share with us about this program. The founder, Dato' Nasmi, was the scholarship holder from renowned study in this New Zealand, and came back work for renowned and also from this Time Telecom. With his experience with this corporate and this IT company, that's where he saw the opportunity and to develop this solution, to bring this great solution to the school community. So let us put our hand together to welcome Dato' Nasmi to come to our Facebook Live. Welcome, Dato' Nasmi.
Thank you, William. Good to be here. Thank you for hosting us.
Yeah. Dato' Nasmi, would you like to further introduce yourself to our audience?
My name is Nazmi Abdul Talib. I am the founder of this program called i3s, which is supposed to be a system for school student management that is approved by the Ministry of Education since 2016. I think maybe I can talk a bit about what i3s is. Actually, i3s is like it's a game changer. So it addresses the life of a child in school rather than just academics, and it allows parents to discuss about academics with teachers via a single platform. So it's a standardized platform. Hopefully, the entire Malaysian school will jump on within the next 3 to 5 years. MOE trusted us enough and to give an approval to run this program for initial 2,000 schools, which were selected amongst the urban schools. So to date, we have not seen any party with the same approval. We started back in 2012, and we have spent about 4 years talking to the ministry and schools to be where we are.
Yeah, I'm sure, Dato' Nasmi, I think this project is such a great scale because of involved a lot of technology and also a lot of coordination between the MOE, the Parent Teachers Association, and also the private sector, which is not easy to launch this program and also get the approval from the ministry. So we are looking forward to hear more from you. And before we do that, I would like to bring up also this i3s COO, Ken, previously also working in this startup and also have a very good experience in this finance and also technology. He's also the COO for this football hub and currently also work with this Datuk Nasmi as a COO for i3s. Welcome, Ken, to our Facebook Live, Ken.
Hi, thank you for having us here tonight. My name is Ken, and I'm the COO for i3s. So my task here is to assist Datuk Nasmi into implementing the hardware systems into schools. That's just a small part of the whole program. And of course, is to ensure that the users pick up in terms of the usage, and then we will also run programs on how we can increase the stickiness of users once all of these hardware has been invested into the schools. So that is my main function as a COO in this company.
Yeah. Ken, with your great experience in this startup and also in the managing some corporate, I think your experience definitely can benefit this i3s to launch their program in the near future. By the way, you also would like to share with us more detail in your presentation, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So, please proceed with your presentation. We'll bring up this presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, so i3s, how we have introduced, is actually standing for Intelligent School Support Systems. It's developed and owned by Emerging Enterprise and approved by Ministry of Education. Approval doesn't necessarily mean the schools are forced to adopt us. The schools still have a choice. So that's why us as a company have to come up with a business model that is fair enough and lucrative enough for both business and the schools to work together. And we are actually powered by Boost. Our e-wallet system is in a partnership with Boost. So what's the situation today, right? That is causing us is the factor for Dato' Nasmi to come up with this concept i3s. So digitization is all around us at the moment. Everything from ground up, from the moment we wake up to the moment we sleep, everything is about simplification, codification, gamification. But what's in it for our schools? What's in it today for our public schools? It's like nothing is actually present within the school compounds that is changing the lives of students and teachers. Because on a daily basis, these people, the teachers are still taking attendance one by one and then keying them into the registrar, and it's taking so much time, also it's prone to error. Besides that, in terms of a classroom activity management and also parent and teachers communication, right? There's really no real way for this communication to go through. And I'm talking about the teacher's life, Every time when the parents are done with their job, they go back home and then something happens with their students or with their kids. The first thing they do is they message this or they call the teachers, and this sort of invades the privacy of teachers as well. So we need a fair system to ensure that communication are passed through properly, but at the same time maintain the privacy of teachers. So i3s, right, is built to solve all of these problems. And how do we do that? Is to introduce both hardware and software to create this solution. So in the first place, the software was developed in order to run the entire function of the system, but to activate the usage of the system, hardware is required to enable it. Simply because our program is meant to be introduced to ages from 7 to 17. So kids in these schools, they just can't bring devices into the school premise. So the way that we can activate the usage here is actually through an RFID card. So this RFID card acts as a student ID, and at the same time also acts as your e-wallet system, your payment system. So every card is connected to their parents' Boost wallet, in which when they spend, they simply have to tap on POS terminals that are provided free to the schools, and the transaction will occur. So all of this information and even the attendance scanners will be passed into the servers that we will set up in the school for free. So all of this hardware setup and cabling, we do not burden the schools to buy them from us. We come in for free, sponsored by us, to enable all of these services for schools to use. Yeah. So Boost being our e-wallet partner, they're not just our e-wallet partner. Basically, Boost is also participating in the capex of our program. In our agreement level, what we have with Boost is that 60% of our capex will be funded by them, and the other 40% will still have to come from us, which is precisely the reason why we're here today. So we're not introducing a system that's not yet been proven to the market. What we're talking about today is already been deployed into 5 schools, which has been running, but eventually, COVID came. All the students and teachers are not actually in schools, and we are not running actively at the moment now. But these 5 schools has been deployed and tested, and they are our box of sandbox. This is where we do new implementation, new tests, and understand whether or not the system will work on a larger scale. So how can our company survive? Coming up with, we don't take any money for the installation of hardware and whatnot. So how do we survive? Because we don't actually get any budget from the government in order to implement this program. So what we do is we charge a merchant discount rate, MDR, of 5% to all transactions that is done through the student card. So for example, a student buys something from the canteen for 5 ringgit. So we will take this 5% of the transaction from the canteen operator. Simple as that. Clean and nice business model. So the thing about all of this implementation, so coming from the angle of experience, many individuals or many companies have tried to actually put in systems and hardware to be introduced into schools. Since long ago, before technologies are even made so clear to us, many programs has been tried and it failed. The main reason is because most of the time, upon implementation, nobody bothers to maintain the usership, nobody bothers to maintain the stickiness. There's no real reason for people to stay on board a certain program. So with our experience, we actually understand this, and we fought really hard to be able to get Boost to come on board as our partner. Because what's in it with us and Boost is that Boost will come in with not just the capex, but also marketing budget to be able to help us to bring stickiness on this usership. Right. So through this collaboration, we hope that we are able to realize all of these financial projections, which is in the year of 2020 to 2021. By achieving our initial portfolio of 100 schools, we will transact about 114 million on this platform across all 100 schools. But of course, from this gross transactional value, only 5.7 million is actually our revenue, which comes from the merchant discount rate. So moving on to the following year, our target is to achieve another 900 schools, making a total schools of 1,000. And finally, we want to achieve up to 2,000 schools, which is the entire approval for the number of schools given to us by MOE. So this business model is not just confined to MDR charges on all of the public schools with a 5% on every transaction. From what we can tell from our cash flow analysis, every 10 cent increase in average spending will increase our bottom line by 1.4%. So what we intend to do very definitely is to expand to include a 5-kilometer radius of vendors, right, for each participating school location. So we can target shops such as KFC, Bata, school uniform stores, DIY, Popular, MPH, or maybe school shoes or textbooks. So all of these, right, will be relevant for teachers, parents, and also kids year on year. That can definitely help to increase our average spending per student every year. So what are we going to do upon this fundraising? Basically, as mentioned, we want to realize our initial portfolio of 100 schools. So with this 4 million, 40% of it, which is 1.6 million, will have to go back into the capex, so that we will be able to work with Boost to implement into all of these 100 schools. And the other 60% remainder of our funds, we will divide it fairly equally, one to advertising and another to operational, which actually gives us a good 15 months of runway for it, not just implementation, but also to achieve stickiness as well. So what we are offering today to the crowd is basically to take 4 million of our investors' money. We're issuing up to 2 million units of new shares. And from these shares, what we are promising to our investors today is year on year, 4% of your shares. We will give you 4% additional shares on your total number of shares for the next 5 years. And the moment the shares matures, we will redeem your shares at 2 ringgit per share. So meaning your gains will come directly from the growth of your shares every 4% year after year after year. So like I mentioned, this investment is a maximum period of 5 years. And this is where within the 5 years, we intend to build the company to the size of 2,000 schools, and definitely, if possible, beyond schools, and also reaching out to different forms of revenue streams. So by the time we are matured, right, our investors can actually choose whether they like to be bought out with that 4% gain year on year, or they can choose to convert into equities of our company, in which by the time they are able to enjoy future valuations when we go for IPO or even VC funding. Just a short note before I end, because Boost is our partner. So what we have with them now at the moment live, if you have a Boost app, turn it on, go to your promotional wall and scroll, you will see that i3s is actually one of the promotional campaign that is live at the moment. So what we are offering to everyone today that invests with Boost Wallet on our i3s platform, what we are offering is that a chance to get 500 ringgit cashback for every 500 ringgit invested into our campaign, and also up to 5 times Boost coins for every ringgit that you have invested. Right. Thank you. That's the end of my pitch.
Thank you very much, Ken. Very brief but very comprehensive presentation. I think for our audience, just through this presentation, I think they can understand this project quite fully. And just also, I think in this presentation, you highlight this Boost is your strategy partner, which I think they play a very important role. Dato' Naspi, from this Boost involvement, so which is they play quite a heavy role. How do you actually attract them coming in to partner with you in such a comprehensive program? What they see in this program that they, even before this can go commercialized, they trust you to invest a heavy capex and even in the marketing as well. And just how we see, even first time I see a Boost can actually use it for investment purposes of vehicles. Yeah.
Okay, I don't feel like speaking on behalf of them, but I think what they have seen from what we have done before, actually we have done some trial schools, right? We have shared with them all the experience, and we have told them what is the required participation that will make this program a success. Simply putting a system in school and waiting for users to be on board is not feasible. We did not have a good experience in the beginning because maybe we missed on that. We had only half of the users on board. Like I said, we have studied enough of this population in schools a few years to say that our system is fit for purpose in Malaysian schools and suitable for the consumer behavior within it. So we are actually also participating or have people, organizations participated with us in digitalization of schools and cities. Agencies like Perwadanan Putrajaya, Koperasi Guru Besar Selangor, also Smart Selangor Initiative, right? Have actually known about us and participated with this digitalization program. So we have done a lot of things over the years to strengthen our position. So maybe that's why a large organization and popular brands like Boost become a bit more interested and trust that we can pull through what we are saying.
That's good. Dr. Nasmi, for this project, because as we know, I think it involved quite heavily, quite comprehensive. What exactly this program, this i3s benefit the teachers, because these three parties they put together, and the teachers, the parents, and also the student. What actually are their benefit from your this solution?
Okay, if I want to talk about on behalf of parents, I think more of their parents nowadays, we would like to know more about what our kids are doing in school. So if we have full information from the school at our fingertips, then we can have some educated decision that we can make to also manage our children from home in terms of their education and behavior and character building. If we talk about teachers, we're just simply saying that with this system, we leave a bit more burden of administrative work from them. So we automate everything inside the school. All the information that we can get are all from the phone. So, there's no running here and there to get information, especially talking to the parents. We have a limit of time. Therefore, parents couldn't just simply text or ask the teachers when they feel like it. Would like to also mention a bit, touch a bit about what Ken said. This year, the schools are closed and because of the pandemic. Therefore, technically, from our side, the systems is not operating. We have taken that advantage to upgrade the system to look at what are the ways that we can do to protect our revenue. And we have come up with something like an online ordering platform so that the parents can order food, the canteen operators or the cafeteria can post what are the menus that they want to sell within this week. And parents, they are able to choose and pay online immediately. So, the business case there is good. And we are able to help school solve some of the administrative work in terms of, management of kids in respect to recess times and break times. Okay, in the near future, I think our world is going to go digital. So especially on the retail and the government segment. So I think it's time for us to expose our younger generation and prepare them for the future world. And i3s just does that.
Yeah, I think with this pandemic actually is it become a new norm. So most of people see it as a crisis and something negative, but because of I think the changes, with your program just coming on time with digitalization and how to use a contactless and so on, and to I think the awareness to use online and to use this solution will be much easier, without doing very heavy education. So I'm sure this program, when school come back, they will benefit them. Ken, just now you also mentioned about this because you're going to fundraise up to $4 million. And the investor actually, they're quite interested to find out what would be your revenue stream. Can you share a little bit more on the revenue side? Because I think you, like you mentioned, you heavily involved in the capex and operating costs. How would this revenue coming in?
Okay, so to give maybe to help with some understanding, at 230 schools, our operation costs will break even, right? Just to give that sense first. Aside from that, how are we going to get the revenue from our business model, our revenue model? So for instance, right, this student spends 100 ringgit on one transaction, 100 ringgit on one transaction. So we are going to take 5% from this transaction, which is 5 ringgit. Yeah. So of course, from our 5 ringgit, because of our deal with Boost, 3% actually is going to be going back to Boost, since they are the capex partner, and the other 2% will come back to us. Well, of course, we have to bear some transaction fees. So probably our income will come in about 1.5% of the total transaction. So our income really comes in when the volume of transaction is larger. But this also means that when you have the volume, your revenue is fairly stable. It's not like a big chunk ticket item in which if you lose 20 or 30% of your customer and the business becomes at risk. So there are pros and cons to this business model or to this revenue model.
Okay. Dato, would you like to talk more about this 5 pilot project and what's the progress and also the challenges facing for the next phase, because now it's pandemic, the school is closed. Any other problem that you are facing now?
Okay. What we're looking at is launch again sometime in February or March next year. So the launch will be together with the balance of the 95, so total of 100 schools that we're gonna launch together with Boost. The 5 schools that we've done, basically it's a pilot school. We have work on the entire cycle of the program, of the process, and then the system. Get some experience out to canteen operators, how it is going to work, whether the money is in on time, like what we said. So we have learned and we have shown some track record there for people to study. Safe to say that the 5 schools are still on board with us, and come February, we will start to be operating again when school reopens.
Okay, that sounds good. Ken, also just now you mentioned about this to attract the investor coming in. What can you share more about the ROI and what are the offer package? Because I think you are using the Boost system solution. I also see some of the package are actually suitable for the retail investor. Can you briefly introduce to us what would be the package that our investor can participate in?
Yes, I think this is a good time to recap on the investment. So, of course, to invest, just go ahead to visit My Starters website. That's where our campaign is hosted. Okay, what kind of returns are we offering to our investors today? The quickest form of return that you'll be getting is 5 times Boost coins on every ringgit that you're spending. So let's say you invest 500 ringgit, you're actually getting up to 2,500 coins, but then it's limited to the first 5,000 transactions only. Yeah, divided by the module of 50 ringgit per transaction. Okay, the next immediate return that you have a chance of winning is a 500 ringgit cashback for every 500 ringgit invested into our campaign. So let's say if you're the lucky winner, the moment you invest 500 ringgit with us, you have a chance to get a cashback into your Boost wallet for 500 ringgit. So this amount has no expiry, and you can actually spend it on any other vendors on Boost wallet. Yeah. So of course, after all of these this immediate rewards, right, we also give you the longer term reward, in which for the money that you have invested, we will be giving you redeemable preference shares. So what we are going to do is that while we are building the business, we are giving you additional equities year after year. So when our business grows in value, you have the choice to exit, meaning you can sell your shares back to us, in which we will buy your shares out at 2 ringgit per share. But then your gains will be on the additional equities of 4% every 12 months. If you do not want to be bought out, you see that our value is strong and good enough for you, then get converted into equities with us. And that's where we can enjoy the reaps together for better valuation with VCs or even our future plans of going into IPO.
Oh, so you're saying that this investment after 5 years toward maturity actually is redeemable. And if the investors see the value and this company value actually higher, do they have they also have an option to convert into ordinary share?
Correct.
Well,
Correct.
So with this investment, basically, I think the investors are quite safe, lah. Not only they are enjoying this yearly accumulative of this return, and at the end of the 5 years also, I think they can also grow together with the company to actually capitalize on the capital gain. Right? Okay, Dato' Nasbi, and on this project, also I think because it involves the teachers, children, and also the parents. I think the school is a very complex community. What are the direct social impact that you see in this program? How this student actually, will be impactful through your program?
We are targeting, our market is basically the parents and the teachers, but the impact to the children is the more important factor that we are looking at. So we start at 7 to 17. So technically, if we start 7 years old next year, 11 years later, they will turn 18 and they will leave school. So they will probably be fully digitalized as a Malaysian next generation community. So it's possible that we are looking at about 11 years time. We would probably not use cash notes anymore. It's possible. It's very radical, but these are the things that we are looking at moving forward into a digitalized world. So I think in terms of support, the parents of what the school that we chose, parents that is about that age, below 50 years old, their kids are in school still, and they have majority of them, over 90% of them have smartphones. So we can introduce a lot of services on the i3s platform and not just rely on the revenue from school spending. So to make sure that our ROI is better than what we say. However, we are not so open about it now because it's in our plans. But rest assured for investors, our outlook of the future of the next generation is a fully digitalized community, and that is the impact that we are looking at in 11 years from now. We are looking at a fully digitalized Malaysian community.
Yeah, thank you, Dato. We can see the passion in both Dato Nasmi and also Ken, and also the confidence they have in this project. And also, I think working with them and also with the team, we can see the effort they put it in to make this project a success. And also just now, Ken also mentioned to us the investment actually can come back with a lot of return. And we're looking forward to more people coming to join this i3s program, and hopefully more investors come and participating to make this program a success. And we would like to end this session, and maybe the gentleman can share a little bit more emphasis on the program that you want to highlight.
I think just on the ECF, I think recently the government gave like a tax break for online investors on the ECF program up to 50,000 ringgit. Yeah. So maybe we can take advantage of that and invest in the program that builds the country, and we can take it off our personal tax. I don't have any much information to share other than what is being posted already on my startup. But I feel that i3s has a lot of potentials. If you look at schools, we have a 2,000 school approval, but really the market is at 10,000 schools and about 5 million people, 5 million students. Our approval gives us we're touching about 25% of the Malaysian population that will be on our platform. So a lot of upside. We got to start somewhere. So we hope that Malaysians can support us in our bid to do these digital schools together with Boost. Maybe Ken, you can add a bit more before we go.
Okay, I'm going to add with a slightly lighter note.
Yeah.
Invest in us today and spy on your children tomorrow. I mean, because it's easier for us to get access into looking at what our kids will be doing in schools with this system. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, gentlemen. And for our friends out there, if you like to invest, please click on the link. So just go to mystarter.com and i3s project, and you will be able to invest now. The payment is quite easy. Like just now, Ken also mentioned you can pay through a Boost. You can pay through this credit card. Also, you can pay through direct this transfer. So it's quite easy. Just take you a few minutes to invest. So we welcome all Malaysians to support this great community project. And thank you very much, Dato Nasmi, and also thank you, Ken. And we will see you next time.
Thank you, William.
And good night, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.